so that way you can hear Neil not in the background, but actually on. All right, can you come back on TikTok, Neil, and see if I can invite you? Is that possible?
Yeah, I'm still on there. Let me switch off and then back on.
Okay, here we go. I got it. I got you. So let's invite Neil because I'm coming through on your audio on TikTok. So if you can turn the volume down on the device that you have on TikTok, does that make sense?
That'll be my phone, so I guess I'd mute my phone.
Can you turn down the volume on your phone? How come it won't bring you on? But
It's all the way zero. No noise coming out of my phone.
okay.
Just my Mac.
So I'm trying to invite you and it won't let me. I'm over this. Okay, guys. All right, we're just gonna talk. And I'm gonna try to get Neil on here. So Neil and Amanda are my nurse practitioners that are on Watch AMS on YouTube. But we like to answer all the questions on here. Oh, look, I have another Maureen. Hey. Super amazing. There are very few of us out there. And my video is super weird on TikTok currently. I don't know. It's very weird. Anyhow, okay, I don't know what to do with my video. It looks super weird. Hey, I can enhance myself. Smooth. Let me smooth out my wrinkles. Let's not do that. That's creepy. Okay. All right. I don't know how to figure out my video. It's bizarre. And I'm like, I don't know how to do it. So we're just going to roll with it. Sorry. I wish I had a streaming key for TikTok so we didn't have to do this and so we could just restream.
Right? I'm getting there. I'm at 414 followers, so getting closer to being able to be at least heard on mine.
Yeah, right. Well, I was gonna say you can pop on in here if I can invite you, but there's something totally wrong with my screen. So
I'm gonna just close it out real quick and then come back on.
I know.
If
I'm
that
like, can I
works.
just do this? Hold on. Please hold. We're gonna come back and let's see if this works. I don't know. Just ask questions. Ask questions on the TikTok. Or you can hop into Watch AMS and go to our YouTube channel and ask questions there if you want to just type them in chat. You can actually see Neil and Amanda over there, but lots of our regulars give us some hearts if you want, or share the TikTok live because thank you. I can't even like my own TikTok. It just does this weird focusy thing today. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with my camera. I don't know. I'm like over it. I'm like, it won't let me. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause the TikTok for a second. Your live will freeze after you pause. All right, let's pause for 1 second. And then resume. And let's see if this fixes my delay. Nope, not a damn bit. Fine then. Turn off the Wi-Fi for a second and see if that works.
Creator
I'm
will
done.
be back soon.
I'm kind of done. Anyway, that was it. All right, I don't know. We're just gonna roll with it. As long as you guys can hear me on the live, then we're gonna go. So what questions do you guys have? I've seen lots of stuff lately on the Facebook groups about side effects and how, oh, I'm throwing up. With AMS, oh shit, I didn't do the disclaimer. With AMS, vomiting is never an acceptable side effect. What I mean by that is this is not a patient-provider relationship. This is not medical advice. This is sure shit not legal advice, but if you'd like a business lawyer, we've now got that too. And yeah, not relationship advice and not financial advice. We don't have, I don't know. We got some people for that, but not enough. So I got 18 lawyers, but that's it.
And we'll start off. If you would like to be a patient of ours, if you are in one of our states, go to our amstelehealth.com and click become a patient. You can kind of see what states we have. Is it 9, 11? I don't even know.
It's 11.
11. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 11. Louisiana is by special permission right now. So we will take Louisiana. We just have to talk first because sometimes we do have some delays in care. Our Louisiana doctor is gallivanting. Gallivanting Galdamez, say that. She's got a new name there. Oh, thanks for the follow. Yeah, but start asking questions. So yeah, side effects. That's the thing. I hear all these people posting, oh my God, I'm throwing up. I got all this crap. I'm like, talk to your freaking provider. You do not have to suffer. It's dumb. Sorry, go ahead.
I think they're scared if they tell them they're nauseated or vomiting that they'll take the medicine away. You
Oh,
know, like, oh, there's a side effect, no more. I mean, they don't understand the medicine, very well anyway, a lot of providers. So I wonder if that's why.
I never thought of that. So I hope you guys can hear Neil. He's as loud as we can go. Well, not as loud as I've heard him, but that's another story. But he said that people are probably afraid that if they talk to their provider, that it's saying, hey, I'm having side effects, that they'll take them off the meds. I never thought of that. I bet we will not do that at AMS. I mean, we might. Like, if you have like, if you're like, holy shit, I was diagnosed with medullary thyroid carcinoma. Yeah, we're stopping. Or if you're pregnant, like there are like serious contraindications, that you cannot, you get pregnant or you're breastfeeding, you can't take these meds. Otherwise, we have been able to turn everyone who has texted us around. And when we say texted us is because we do our care with asynchronous telehealth, right? So what that means is we do most of our care by text. We do a video visit just to establish care. And it's not like we don't have to do it before we get you started. We do it as we get you started. So we establish a good patient provider relationship. Go from there, right? Do the right thing. That's what we do. And if you hear a thing that sounds like a crying baby, I swear to God, it's my neighbor's dog and it sounds super creepy. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
KJ York upped her dose and is so sick.
KJ, what are you on? Even though this isn't medical advice, what are you on? What did you go to? Don't tell me units, tell me milligrams.
Maybe she's on the real stuff. The brand name, fancy,
The grab and
expensive.
stab harpoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I was supposed to.
As opposed to option C.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got to call that. It's option C, which would be compounded. The funny thing is, a lot of the things, remember a year ago that were getting banned on like the Facebook groups and stuff, you couldn't say prescription or you couldn't say compounded. Couldn't even. Oh, they're not my comments. It's some of our comments were filtered. I'm like, were they mine?
There's still, I can't say, I don't think compounded on Reddit, like in those, like the Zepbound or the Monjuro forums, so they say option C. So far, that's okay.
So KJ said company 2 to 2.5. Did you go to
Compound?
I know, yeah, I got that part. But did you go 2 milligrams to 2.5? Are they moving you up really slow? 2 milligram tirzepatide or semaglutide? Let's start there. Start at the bottom. I'm there. I'm blonde race girl. I like this. What do you do race wise? Yeah, that's why the compounded is a definite option.
Especially if you're on the lower doses. Like, it's crazy to pay $550 for 2.5 milligrams of tirzepatide.
Yes.
Or even Wegovy when, we can at least start on the compounded.
Right. Well, because the Wegovy coupon gets you to what, 800, and you can't find it anyway. So,
which is what, a couple of months of compounded semaglutide, if not longer, depending on your dose.
Yeah, 550 could get you to 3 months of compounded semaglutide.
Now I gotta look.
Holy shit. I have lost 126 pounds so far, was paying $886, now $379. God love you.
Yeah.
And if you're anything like me, I'm not going off either. So KJ's on tirzepatide.
2.5, that it shouldn't really cost too much of an issue. That's a pretty small jump, but everybody's can be a little bit different sensitivity. But I think if you started at 2, no problems, and then moved to 2.5, that's not too big of a jump.
No, that's weird. Did anything change? Because that's kind of the next question, right? Did anything change?
Hi, Linda.
I waved. Why are so many people saying they hate 5 milligrams? I don't. I love it. I love
Some
it.
people hated what, 10? I know people hated 10 because they thought 7.5 was better.
So on the flip side, Neil, remember when I went up though, because I was on, oh, you have ulcerative colitis. Is it making your ulcerative colitis better? I know I got 13 conversations going on at the same time. Jesus. Um, so 5 milligrams when I went up too soon was hell. So, but it's my jam now. Like it's what I take every week, except for I had a dream last night. I went up to 7.5 long term because I'm about 8 pounds too heavy and I don't feel good. That was weird. I didn't remember that till just now.
No, I think if I was on 2 and I went to 2.5 and the side effects kind of came at me, I would drop right back down to 2,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. If you went up to 2.5, um, and it's killing you, not killing you, right? If it's killing you, go to the ER, please.
Yes.
If anything is killing you, please go to the ER. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, we'd of course talk to your provider and figure out number one, do you have do you have food poisoning? Right? That's the first thing. Or something else going on. Um, or just go back down. Like go right back down for sure. My inflammation is down. That's amazing. What is too soon? Mine was ordered at 4 weeks at 2.5, then go to 5. Yeah, that's too fucking soon. Um, sorry. It depends. Some people have no side effects, no appetite suppression, no calming brain at 2.5. That's when you go up to 5. I was on 2.5 for 3.5 months, 3 months before I went up. We
Yeah, it
don't,
took what?
yeah,
Courtney till 7.5 to get good relief.
Courtney felt nothing at 2.5. Amanda, nothing at 2.5, nothing at 5. 7.5, thank the freaking Lord, they finally feel something. So it's completely individual. We do not do that 4 week bullshit. We don't do it. Okay, hold on. Lots of questions now. I'm on 10 for my 6 week and finally the body aches are going away. Don't forget to hydrate with electrolytes to make the body aches go away. That's key for me. It's anecdotal. It's nothing proven in the studies, nothing studied in the studies, right? But Body Armor Light is key. Yes, it's the peach mango flavor that I'll get harassed about, but it was cheap at Costco. So
Or Liquid IV or Gatorade Zero or Prime, whichever electrolyte drink
Propel
you
super
like and you will drink.
yeah, whatever it is tasty, right? It has to be tasty because if it's not tasty, you're not going to drink it. Hey, everybody. Oh, Jenna's on. Gianna's on. Sorry. Tell me how you pronounce your name. Jenna? Because now I'm bothered. Can I spread the injection in 1 week? Oh, nice word. So we do that with patients who have side effects mostly.
And are uncompounded.
Or well, yeah, and they're
Yes.
uncompounded, right? Because then it's a little hard with the harpoon, which is what I call the pens. I love the pens. I love the pen. Gina. Perfect. Now I know. Thank you. Yell at your parents. Just kidding. But I need to know that. Like my assistant, her name is Jill, but it's Jillian, but it has an E at the end. So I'm like, is it Jillian? Is it? She's like, it's Jillian. I'm like, okay. Can we leave the E off? Just kidding. So anyway, I just call her Jill. It's easier. Do we see patients? So Tina, good question. Do we see patients through telemedicine? We are only remote, obviously, since, which is why you get the work dog here. That's the dog. That's the work dog. We only see patients through telemedicine. We have a remote office, helps you keep our costs down, right? At amstelehealth.com. You can go check out our states. We are adding additional states. We don't know what they are yet. Pennsylvania, Colorado, I know are the two that are coming up next. Perfect. Blonde Race Girl said I stayed at each dose until I stalled or was hungry. Or if you're not don't have wicked side effects or anything like that. So yes, we do see patients by telehealth, only by telehealth. We just hang out on here so we can give general, not medical advice.
Or at least, if anything, tell you to go see your doctor and make him do his job.
Right. Right.
Help.
Yeah, right. Well, but I remember I did that, and this is how I got into telemedicine because I asked my doctor for help, and he said, "Eat less and move more."
Well, obviously, didn't move enough.
Well, and that was literally right after I did Ironman Texas.
It's only 140 miles.
Well, and I didn't make it through that because I was too fat. Um, so anyhow, and KJ, yes, you very well might be very sensitive to the meds because absolutely everyone is super individual. I mean, we would dive in. So what we would do if you were our patient is food log first. Make sure you're getting your hydration in, make sure your sleep's on point, make sure you're getting your protein in, and make sure your stress is reduced, especially with inflammatory conditions. You got to work on your stress.
I'd say like, one of our nurse practice, Courtney, like, was on Monjuro for a long time, switched to semaglutide, and 1 milligram was like too much for her. Like it kicked her butt for the whole week to the point where like, until she's on compound and we can kind of titrate her dose down a little bit. And I think she was doing like 0.75 this week. So not a real
Yeah.
dose, but she didn't even make it to the weight loss doses.
Yeah, because the weight loss doses with semaglutide are 1.7,
Yeah.
2.4. Courtney can't even make it there. So, there's that. So yeah, stress is the number one key to success. Abso-friggin-lutely. Do I do well with it? No, you can see my scar from my freaking cold sore that keeps popping up,
All right.
annoyingly.
There's two here. Christina has
Yeah.
gone up to 15 and hasn't lost anything. And I think I saw another one at 12 and a half and hasn't lost anything since January. So we have had a couple of patients, well, very few, that got up to the max dose and it took a couple of months before they really started losing. It took some time for their body to start to repair before they saw some progress. I mean, we feel a couple of the things that it causes, like the side effects, but it's doing a whole lot of stuff inside of us that we don't feel. And if we're there and, and we're at max dose, then we start with our patients, start talking about other things like what can we do or is the problem? Is it, we're still hungry all the time? Is it the foods we're eating? First thing is going to be diet quality. So are you eating like lean cuts of meat? Are you getting your protein in? Are you staying hydrated? Those are the big things we like to tackle first. For most of our female patients, it's around 100 grams of protein, which for most people is pretty tough to get to at first. Like you have to actually try to get there. Most people require a protein shake or two to kind of help them along, especially when you're not hungry. And then, we look at sleep and stress. And then, are you moving?
Yep.
So that's where I would go. Sometimes with our patients, when we have nowhere else to go and we've kind of started working on those other things, sometimes we add in like metformin or naltrexone to kind of add a little spice to it. But you got to hit those other markers first because we can't keep throwing meds at it forever because eventually we're going to run out of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The meds, it's almost like, if you have an allergic reaction, we don't hit you with epinephrine first thing. We got to
Yeah.
do the thing, we got to have something in our arsenal for later. So we try not to throw meds at it just willy-nilly. Period. Thank you, Linda, for answering the protein question. Linda's been with us a long time. Do we know anything about hearts? Yes, we do. It's not medical advice, but please ask. Because especially if we can help you direct you to the provider you need, which would be like really key. Speaking of which, I'm gonna walk away from my computer. So, but Neil, answer questions for a second, just because
Oh boy.
I'm starving. I'm
Go
starving.
get something.
I'm getting a
All
protein.
right. So
All of a sudden.
a question about the weight loss doses technically for semaglutide, Wegovy, Ozempic, well, I guess it's Wegovy, is 1.7 and 2.4. That's just what they did in the studies. I personally lost all my weight on 0.25 and 0.5. So they are just the loading doses. They were plenty strong enough for me. And even Courtney, can't even get past one, even with her experience of over a year on like tirzepatide. So everybody's very different with how the medicines work for them. Out of the 4,000 patients I think we've treated, plus I've only had one patient that did not feel anything on semaglutide. He just did not respond to it. As soon as we switched him to tirzepatide, he had pretty good results and is still doing that. So it's just a matter of everybody's a little different. So if you are not losing weight at the lower dose, it's probably time to go up. Let's see here. Dawn, hungry all the time.
I want to sing that Eddie Murphy style.
Hungry all the time? Oh God. Party all the time?
There's your earworm. There you go.
You
Hungry
just
all the
aged
time.
yourself.
Biggest apple ever. Look at this. Look at the size of this apple.
So Dawn, congrats on the 72 pounds in a year. That is where, like, at this point, we'd have you, it depends if you're on meds where you're at, really focusing on getting that protein in every single day at 100 plus grams. Trying to get 30 in the morning for breakfast, because that really helps with appetites and satiety later throughout the day and kind of sets you up for success versus failure with the cravings. And then that's where I'd start first.
So Depakote, what is divalproex sodium? Neurologist. So it's either for seizures or mood stabilization. Does it cause weight gain, Neil? Is it one of those? I should know this. I'm studying.
I don't know on that one. I'll have to look that one up.
I seem to think it is.
It's just any of those medications have that potential, unfortunately. Any of them. Side effects.
Yeah, Dawn, the hunger thing. That happened to me too when I got to a certain point where all of a sudden, like this, like I all of a sudden got starving. I have not been hungry all day, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, but when it hits like I am hungry. Now, sometimes my brain wants food. Same as before, it's food noise. My food noise comes back, which is why I talked about the 7.5, that I'm about 8 pounds up of where I'm comfortable. And I'm kind of tired of it.
All right. So valproic acid does cause weight gain in about 71% of people. So that's most of them. And it's about 10% of the weight. So
that's a lot.
Yep.
I thought it was when I read that, I was like, oh boy, I do think chronic migraines. Oh yeah, no, it's used for that too. I forgot. Sorry, my bad. I think it's used off.
It's a migraine med.
Yep.
And theoretically, they might use way lower doses than they would use otherwise.
Yeah. So
for bipolar disorder or seizures.
Okay, so that's good. So if it's migraine prevention long term, it's likely lower. I take 500 milligrams of magnesium glycinate a day for migraine prevention. And stress reduction, because that's a trigger for mine. Chris said week 13 on 1.7 now for 2 weeks, barely losing maybe 10 pounds so far. And that was in the beginning. That's tough.
Increased water, protein, exercise. How much protein are you getting today? Are you hitting the 100? I think that's the right one. Oh, that was Christina. KJ was asking about Pedialyte. Fine. Is absolutely fine for electrolyte drink. If that's what you like and it tastes good, great. Go for it. Liquid IV is very similar. It's that super salty kind of seawater electrolyte drink. Whichever one will work for you. But yeah, Pedialyte works. I think it's probably more expensive than the other ones though, because it's for kids.
Yeah, right. The
fancy
for kids.
Yeah. Gatorade makes one. I think it's called Gator Light, which is basically Pedialyte with the new label.
Yeah. Yeah, the protein is a big deal. We talk about, and I don't do anything I advertise. Obviously, we're not advertising for apples here. We're not sponsored by anybody. It's not. But the protein is key. I actually need to increase. The reason we go on 100 and 150 for males is we work off of 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. Speaking of which, I actually saw on Facebook, somebody said, oh, I had kidney problems or I had a kidney infection from too much protein. And I'm like, oh, did you see Dr. Seuss? That's fantastic.
They proved that was wrong recently.
Yeah, right. I mean, the studies by Alan Aragon, it's like 4 grams per pound of lean body mass does not affect kidney function.
Unless you already have a kidney problem, which is a whole nother set of questions.
And then you're not going to a nutritionist, some random sports nutritionist. You're going to your nephrologist. So I really appreciate you guys. My protein intake is bad in calories, but I walk at least 2 to 3 miles a day, which is amazing because that kind of activity, along with the stress reduction, killer. That's awesome. So yeah, just work on the protein, get in 50 grams. Neil, I do this every freaking live. Didn't do it yet today because I wasn't hungry till just now and slacker. But get in if you can get in. I did have 20 grams with I have 20 grams of my first cup of coffee with collagen, and then I'll do this. This will hit me 50 by, 3 o'clock. And then I make fewer bad decisions. So
Well, in addition to that, let's just like if you focus on protein, then you don't have to calculate every other little macro, like how many carbs did I eat, how many fat did I eat. You just calculate on protein and you're on these medications. You're probably not going to be able to overeat, and you're probably not going to be able to eat stuff you probably shouldn't be eating, because when you get to that 100 grams, that's you're going to be pretty pretty full and not want to eat anything else. Like it really helps with the overall calorie intake.
Yeah, no, it really does. And it tells your brain you have enough. You are enough. And gosh darn it, people like you. Sorry, a little Stuart Smalley there for you. Um,
Let's see.
hold on, there was something I wanted to
Yeah.
see, and I can't remember what it was. What was it? Oh, other than a diabetes diagnosis, will insurance cover these meds? Wegovy and Zepbound are FDA approved for overweight with a comorbidity and obesity. So they're not even related to diabetes. But I have no problem. We have no problem prescribing off label for diabetes. You can eat it.
Yeah, and it also depends on your insurance. Some will cover Mounjaro for anything, and others won't cover it even for diabetes. So it's a phone call to your insurance to see what they will cover and why they will cover it. That's the big one.
I personally use compound and regular. I do whatever, well, because whenever we add a pharmacy, if if it will ship to my state, I try it to make sure I feel it. I'm willing to inject it into my body. I don't prescribe stuff that I wouldn't feel comfortable using myself. I still have a couple of leftover Manjaro pens. So this week was a grab and stab, which I like better because I do not like poking myself. I'm not very good at it. I don't like it. So, oh, can eating lots of protein cause your BUN level to go up? It was normal in January. Now it's 1 point high. Like 1 point high or like 0.1 high? Like
So
one,
if instead of normal
wait,
being
no,
52,
BUN, I'm
you're just
thinking creatinine.
53.
So BUN's just your dehydration because you were fasting for labs, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, mine's always high when I'm fasting for labs because I don't hydrate as much in the morning with coffee. What questions for insurance? Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Gina, see, I know this. I should have asked you this weeks ago. I'm sorry, I'm eating.
No, that's cool. No, I got it.
What
Nicholas,
not?
first 2 weeks lost 2 pounds. On the third week, lost 14 pounds on Wegovy. 0.25 shot left. Yeah, I mean that's, and if it's still working for you, you can stay as low as possible, as long as possible. Once you get to the max dose, you have nowhere to go. And if you go up for no reason, you're just increasing the risk of side effects. Like I said, I don't know if you were here around when I said it before, but I stayed on 0.25 for like 7 or 8 weeks before I moved up to 0.5 for another 7 to 8 weeks. So you don't necessarily need to go up.
So Tab Boylan said, I have chronic kidney disease. Do I need to watch my protein intake? Depending on the stage of your kidney disease and what your nephrologist tells you, you need to ask them, what should my protein intake be? So if you have protein restrictions, you cannot do what we're telling you. But what you need to do is you need to hit whatever limit they tell you and work on other diet quality. We don't talk about this very much. That's interesting. I just thought about this. So like, what if you do have a protein ceiling? Like I can't have more than 60 grams a day. Great. You get your 60 in, you supplement with some fruits and vegetables because you need healthy food in there, right? You don't need the Dorito diet, and you need to strength train as long as your doctor says it's okay. But that is the thing, because you need to use that protein to repair your cells. You need to do the best thing for your cells. Why do we use protein rather than carbs? It's not about some dumbass macro ratios. This is about what your body needs to build. This is about what your body needs to heal. You're going to need the right kind of fats, the right kind of fiber, the right kind of micronutrients. You need to pay attention, right? Plus, because if you're only allowed to get 60 grams of protein from your nephrologist, and you have two nutritionists on this call, which is super cool. Like, so you got healthcare providers that are also nutritionists, which is great for the state of Florida. But we're not talking out of our assholes here. We can be assholes at times, but that's another story. But we get along, so we're good. But the thing is, you have to work within what you have, right? Because if you need to get 2,000 calories a day, and only 60 grams of that can be protein, you need to figure out, that's when you need to work with your provider, work with a nutritionist to figure out what is the best diet for me to add with these. Do I do fats? Do I do, because if you have a history of cardiovascular disease, you're not going to want to bump up those saturated fats. You got to be careful.
So then you
So,
also want to do simple sugars.
right? The last
And you
thing
really have to pay attention.
you don't want to be pounding, oh, I can afford the extra calories, so let's go ice cream. That would be my brain. Okay, that's
Well,
me,
that sounds good.
which is a
All
terrible
right.
idea.
So Meg's asking, so if you're in what, it depends on the state, Meg. Our like tirzepatide pricing starts around 200 for the first month.
Shoot, that's
But
what
it,
somebody asked before. Thank you.
yeah, it can vary depending on the state, and where you're at in the process. So like someone starting brand new would be around $200. If you're like on, 10, 12, 15 milligrams, it can be substantially more depending on where we're getting it from. Not all the states have really good pricing. Some of the states, their pricing's not that great, but still cheaper than paying at the pharmacy, and you can actually get it instead of calling 100 pharmacies a day and still not having it.
Right.
All right, Kim. Yes. So there was a study last week about basically strength training for muscle growth and strengthening and it was even more important for women to do strength training than men for cardiovascular health. They had better,
And then again,
so it's more important for women than it is for men to strength train for their like cardiovascular health and like overall health. Yep, it decreases their risk more than just cardio. They so it's all like stop running the treadmill, go lift some weights. I gotta find the
wow.
study. Yeah, it's super important that women start strength training.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
It was like
That's
30% decrease in all risk factors or something like that.
wow.
It scrolled by.
Wow.
But
That's killer. Yes, it's okay. Before we answer the cost question, yes, it is
yeah,
100% okay to drink protein shakes during the day. Try to get in a couple apple slices, couple grapes if you can. Just keep your belly happy.
Chris, my first like 2 weeks on semaglutide, I think that's pretty much all I ate was protein shakes because I couldn't stop. Like I just couldn't eat a burger. One bite of a burger or something was just not enough.
My dog loves apples. Easy, buddy. Can't eat an apple without giving some to the dog.
And then Chris, I'm assuming I'm not sure Chris guy or Chris girl, for a dude, it's typically around 150 grams of protein. We typically carry a little bit more lean body mass.
I'm looking at pricing for 2.5 of tirzepatide. Cheapest we have. So the lowest we go is $200 for 15 milligrams. So that would get you 5 weeks, 6 weeks for sure.
Yep.
You can't do six. You can't do 6 because the FDA says you can only
FDA.
puncture that vial for 5 weeks, like 28 days. So that would be your 5th injection. So yeah, I'm trying to look at our cheapest Texas prices. 20 milligrams, 255. These are in our patient group. So if you want to just explore, you don't pay us. So you go to AMS Telehealth, you click be a patient. You're in Texas or Florida or one of our 11 states that are on the website. You click be a patient. You get in the school group because Amanda's our gatekeeper. I had to think of the Ghostbusters. Amanda's the school gatekeeper. She'll let you in until you decide. And you're like, hey, you guys are crazy. I'm out. I hate you. Then you leave. So, yeah, so you can see all the pricing and stuff, but I'm looking through right now. So 15 milligrams is $200 for us. Not for us. Not like I'm making the shit. One of the pharmacies we work with in Texas will send it to you for $200 for 15 milligrams of tirzepatide. So if you see how that math works. Oh, Link Pharmacy 10 milligrams is $195. So if you wanted to just go the 4 weeks,
yeah,
then
I think that's cheaper.
Link burns. Just saying.
But they're unbelievably fast. Like you'll order it and then you'll go outside to do something else. So like it's here.
Like they're Amazon fast.
Yeah.
Jimmy John.
Sorry, buddy. I wasn't.
All right. So that study, it's a brand new article from Cardiology. It is an all-cause mortality by 19% in women. Women who do 1 to 149 minutes of strength training per week have a 30% reduction in cardiovascular related deaths.
Is Pilates considered strength training? I don't know the answer to that. That's why I'm asking.
I would
I mean,
say,
that's,
I think some of it is.
yeah. And that's a more general question to like, are we including just body weight in general?
I would consider body weight stuff because you can, depending on what body weight exercise you're doing, it can be pretty tough. Like
Right.
for some people, push-ups or even like dips are very hard.
True that. True that.
I mean, I think that extends to weights too, because when we're talking about strength training, we're talking about lifting heavy shit, not your little 1 pound dumbbell, So am I not supposed to say the bad words?
No, I was just thinking, I feel targeted. I need to lift heavier shit.
Well, I mean, when women think of strength training traditionally, they're thinking of body weight to less than 5 pound. And I think, we need to readjust that thinking to, you have to incorporate at least if you're going to do it correctly, which I'm not, but if you're going to do it correctly, you should do at least 1 day a week with heavy weights that you can only lift 5 times or less, especially in the pre-post menopausal woman, because that's what builds / keeps the bones, and really challenges the muscle versus just barely maintaining with the lower
I'll increase my weights. All right.
weight.
Done. Thank you. Thank you both for, I feel targeted just a little bit.
So it does. So the quick
Oh,
search
pot and
on the
kettle, pot and kettle.
Pilates, it does say yes, but with an asterisk. So it's not quite the
Right.
same, but it's pretty effective for strengthening and toning. And it's a start. I still would
Really do
say
both.
I would do
Do-
both. Yes, absolutely. And if you want to start, like if you love Pilates and that's where you're at right now, perfect. You can move on to other stuff.
Yeah. Or like Amanda said, add 1 day a week with some weights.
Right.
Do something like that. Anything is better than nothing.
Yes.
This is not an all or nothing thing. Anything is better than nothing. Okay. So any compound medication has got to be, any compound GLP-1 medication has to be mixed with B12, L-carnitine, B6, to mitigate side effects and avoid copyright patent infringement. Is it an FDA approved pharmacy? All of the pharmacies we use are, not 503B, but monitored. Like every compound pharmacy has got to undergo certain sterility. Like you can look them up on the FDA website and see what infractions they've had before, because they have, almost every one of them has. See, I can't eat the whole apple. I'm kind of stuck now. Damn it. I will try. So we use and this is a really good example. This morning when I was talking to a lawyer, we do our due diligence to look at the compound pharmacies we work with. We do our best, but we cannot control what they do. Now, sterility and potency, we can assure. We cannot we cannot police their business practices. Okay. We have no way of doing that. We have no way, which we found out the hard way. We have no way of policing what they're doing out the back door. Or what they're doing with their books. So we do our best, and we have been burned twice so far. I still have no problem with the sterility or potency of the actual medication. So the good news is that doesn't get passed on with patient care. That hurts us, not them. Or not you. So it doesn't hurt our patients. It hurts my business and my need to hire a lawyer. So it doesn't hurt patients, which is really key, right? First, do no harm. We need to protect our patients above all else, and that we will do. Sometimes we get run over by the damn bus. Friends call pharmacies, be nice. Yeah. So here's the deal. Yeah, there's huge shortages. You can't get it.
That was my PSA last week. So I got a lot of info, all in the past and even still from like Reddit and people going through stuff on Reddit because it's, everywhere. And lately I haven't been able to get on Reddit for very long because it's so toxic because everyone is so angry. And even I follow some of the other just pharmacy threads, and they are just getting berated by everyone trying to find these medications. And to the point, like someone will call and like, do you have 2.5? And they'll like immediately answer, no, we don't have it. And they get screamed at. You didn't even check. No, I've already checked 75 times today. We don't have it. I know we don't have it, and we're not getting it.
Phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody asked, what's the difference between semaglutide and tirzepatide? Ozempic and tirzepatide. Ozempic is semaglutide. So when we talk about that, that's the base chemical in semaglutide is Wegovy, Ozempic, and semaglutide compound. Those three they have the same base chemical, and then they do things with it. They either put it in a cute pen, slap a label on it, or put it in a nice vial and throw some B12 in it. But it's the same thing. Tirzepatide is like semaglutide plus the GIP receptor analog, which is a second hormone receptor in your body, all over your body, not just in your gut. This is not just an appetite suppressant. This is not your mom's hydroxycut for those young ones out there, or us if you're old.
I think the one we missed up top, Hola, hit you, been on 10 milligrams of MJ for 9 months and is losing the same 10 pounds for the last 2 months. Should I go up? I don't know if we answered that one. I was reading. Absolutely. That's where I would go. Especially if you don't have any side effects and you don't have any appetite control, I would go up. Chris has asked, max of 30 grams of protein at a time, multiple times throughout the day for absorption, or just 100 grams a day. So
big fat lie.
Female, 100 grams a day. Male, 150 grams a day, as long as there's no like kidney issues. You can do it all at one time, honestly, if you want. The studies show that it does not matter when you get your protein. You could have a 100-gram meal now and then a 50-gram meal before bed and you're good to go, or you could divide it throughout the day. It's just usually easier to divide it throughout the day. That's a lot of protein in one sitting.
Yeah, right? Depends. How many tacos can one person eat? Not many anymore.
Yeah. Not on meds. It's tough.
Not on meds. Okay, hold on. What was that last question that we had? Switching. I wish Courtney was here because it's a perfect question for Courtney. Courtney switched from tirzepatide to semaglutide and it kind of rocked her world and she had no appetite, nothing. Now, the biggest advice we can give that's non-medical, of course, is even if your doctor goes lateral on a move. So say you're on 15 of tirzepatide and they say, oh, you can handle 1 of semaglutide. This is not a narcotic conversion. This is not how it works. Start low, go up fast if you need to, but you may not even need to. Just start low. Start low. Start low, go from there. Go up fast. Like if you're with us, we'll bump you up really fast. But you cannot you might be able to, right? Like if you have no side effects, blah, 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 but we'd have no idea. There's no way to predict crossover. Sorry, my dog's begging for a piece of apple. So yeah, so start low. Women, 42 grams of protein, question mark. What do you mean?
I'm guessing it's that 42 that you drink. The Fairlife 42.
Oh.
I'm okay with that for breakfast.
Heck yeah. I just don't have any because I'm cheap. Trying to save some money. So I use Premier.
Sometimes they're tough to find.
Right. I got so excited because the other day during Ironman, I grabbed a 42 and I was like, I'm having vanilla because you can never get vanilla in the cases. It was like a treat to have the damn vanilla. So sad. My life is sad. It's good. Brandon said you needed to hear that. Hold on. Invite. I'm still trying to invite you, Neil. It won't work. I don't know. Whatever. Do you have to wait a certain amount of time to switch from one GLP to another? 5 days.
Yep. So if your shot day's Monday, just wait till next Monday and just take a different med. Or so, you know.
For sure. I was scared starting low after being at 7.5. Don't be scared. Nope. Definitely start low. And plus with the Ozempic pens, it's almost like being on compounded because you can dial it up to, you just gotta do the math on the clicks. Speaking of which, I gotta do the math for the Hub's prescription today. Like, I think I'm gonna go up to 5 and I'm like, can you just use a pen? Because I don't feel like doing the math right now. I should probably tell him that. I have to fill this out.
Yeah, no problem. Monzero, protein day for women with normal kidney function, really no other medical problems. We usually recommend about 100 grams a day for protein. It's basically a gram per pound of lean body mass for most women. And then for men, it's closer to 150. Let's see.
Ow.
Shelly Bell, Philly, do they change your metabolism or is it all about eating less? So
Yes, it's about eating less.
yeah, it does it does lots of things, like stuff you feel, which is the eating less, feeling full faster, not really wanting to eat other things, kind of killing your urges for things. That's what you feel. The other stuff it does is it kind of helps with how your metabolism is working on the inside, like how you're using sugar that you already have, mobilizing fat for use, you're in how like how much insulin you're producing. Like it does a lot of other stuff.
Oh, thank you for loving the lives.
Nice.
Yeah, it does both, right? It's really not a diet drug. And we're
Mhm.
finding that out with the more research comes out, the more experience we get. And we knew that from the beginning, right? Because as soon as like you inject it, you're like, holy shit, this is something different. Like as soon as you feel your dose effect, especially on tirzepatide, I don't know about semaglutide, with the food noise bit. I feel like it makes Courtney so sick, like nauseated, that's like there's an aversion effect more than the food noise effect, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's it. Because me, when I get nauseated, I eat to quell the nausea. That's why I gained 8 million pounds when I was pregnant. That's all I did was eat. The friggin' house. Kid wasn't that big. Somebody asked if I was having twins. I'm like, nope, just like cupcakes.
Let's see. Rexton Charles is asking, can you drink wine?
Can. Not a lot.
That's
I
what I
wouldn't
was gonna say.
recommend it.
Oh,
So if you're spending this much money on a weight loss medication to kind of change your life, help you feel better, alcohol has zero nutritional value, and you have to burn off the alcohol before you use any other fuel source. So it's kind of counterproductive, number one. Number two, these medications can potentially cause pancreatitis. Alcohol causes pancreatitis. So taking two things or doing two things that could potentially cause pancreatitis is probably not a good idea and is not really recommended. Patients do fine having an occasional drink. The only people we've seen get pancreatitis in our practice are ones that drink more than they tell us they drink. You do not want pancreatitis.
Well, no, especially because if you get chronic pancreatitis, it's, these medications, there's a warning in the beginning that they cause pancreatitis. I don't really want to get into this.
We haven't seen it. I have not seen any
haven't seen
patient in our practice get pancreatitis that did not drink a fair amount. Too much.
Yeah. I mean, the key is, and like Neil said, if you're spending this much money, yes, you can drink. It will slow your weight loss, period. Like whether you're on a drug or not, right? Because we do talk about lifestyle medicine stuff, right? If you're not on the drug anymore, how do you maintain the weight loss? If it was that easy, this would be a diet drug, by the way. Yeah. It's not that easy, because if it was that easy, we all would have been skinny before the freaking drug. But you still, I mean, the goal is not just weight loss. The goal is optimal health, right? Like Peter Attia calls it, it's health span, not lifespan. It's lifestyle medicine. We want to be the healthiest we can be for the longest we can be, right? Being alive, but dying in a chair for 10 years, like my grandmother did, it's not being alive. That's waiting to die. And she had, we had some good points, but imagine if she had been thriving instead of being trapped in a body with low muscle mass. So they call it sarcopenic obesity, which is where your muscle mass can't support your body weight, right? Was she that big by today's standards? No, but she did not have the muscle mass and bone structure to support it. Every time she stood up, she'd fall down and rip her skin apart and stuff. So she lived in a chair. Super shitty.
Jack's mom asked, what kind of protein are you drinking? I think you're drinking Premier.
I am drinking Premier today. I don't normally drink it like right out of the carton, but necessity is the mother of invention at this point. And I didn't want to take the extra minute to add the 2 shots of espresso and warm it up in the microwave.
Yeah, so that one's a good one. Fairlife makes a couple of protein shakes that taste pretty good. The best advice is to try a couple samples or singles of things before you buy a case of stuff, because sometimes you don't like them.
Yeah.
You don't want to throw a bunch of money away.
Or different ingredients or different tolerances. Like I can't do anything with soy lecithin and everything muscle milk with soy lecithin. So you just have to kind of experiment with what agrees most with your system. It's not the same for everybody.
Yeah, some people can't tolerate dairy. Some people need whey isolate. Some people like the clear shakes or clear drinks, whether it's Isopure or Seek, SEEQ. We've got some of that in the pantry. We've tried Ghost Whey again, Ghost Protein, and again, we don't like it. Different flavor this time. Tried it again because I always think it's going to be good because it looks great on the package. Not my fave. Syntha-6, on the other hand, it's
Delicious.
unreal.
Redcon
I know. Why don't
one?
we just... Oh, was it good?
No, it has the same
Oh.
kind of weird sweetener or whatever like the Coast does. Yeah. Smells
Yeah, I
good.
didn't devotion yet. I did not try the devotion yet. It's still in there because I'm like saving it for like when I have time to like make something with it. Shake it up, drink it.
Let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this while we're on the public live because it'll be recorded and everyone can watch this, everyone on the planet. Does anybody live in the Southwest Florida community and or Fort Myers? You know who you are out there, and gotten pregnant while taking a GLP-1. Asking for a friend. No, they're looking for a story. And I told her, I said, we've got 7 or 8 Ozempic babies. So, oh, good. Yeah.
I think we had 3 at the hospital that had Manjaro babies.
Right. Yeah. We've got nurse friends and tech friends who've had Manjaro babies. So yeah, only what you need is good plus muscle milk is good. Yes, Amanda was saying she can't have soy lecithin. I can't say the word.
Yeah.
I never can.
Lecithin.
Thank you. Lecithin. She can't have it, so for allergy reasons. So a lot of those are tough. Every day I have a Premier sugar-free creamer cold brew and I love it. Yeah, I know, right? Julie said my taste has changed so much too. Yeah, can't have Brussels sprouts. Not happening. Not to mention
32 Pluck Duck was asking if you've ever heard of someone taking 2.5s to make a 5 milligram. Yep, it's an expensive way to go. But yes, we have patients doing that. Or we have patients taking a little bit of their compounded along with, their regular dose of like Zepbound to make up the difference.
Several creators I know from here that have gotten pregnant and had babies. Yeah, because it controls the PCOS. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, you think something will be delish and it's just not. I know, where you order something out and you're like, this sucks. That's bad. Hair loss. Yes, lots of hair. But look, all my Muppet hairs are almost like you can pull them back. I lost about half my hair between a stressful situation and weight loss on Manjaro. Thyme, protein, biotin comes back. Collagen. Sorry, forgot about that. Yeah, definitely biotin. I did Amazon 10,000 units, started minoxidil because of hair loss 2 times a week. Yeah, the compounding pharmacies that we work with have like hair loss combos that have biotin, minoxidil in it, a little cheaper than brand name at times, depending on insurance and such. Trying to find out if this is safe for someone who has a slight elevation in liver enzymes. It's not only safe, it is what we would recommend if that slight elevation is from fatty liver, which is what is the most common cause now of, well, not now, but obesity is the most common cause with fatty liver disease for the progression to needing a liver transplant. It is no longer alcohol use, it is food in this country.
And at this point, this is the only medication that fixes it.
It's the only, yeah, my LFTs were actually, because they weren't ever high, but they're half what they were before.
We've seen small bumps in like lipases, which corresponds to your pancreas, but nothing that we would call pancreatitis. They're just real small transient levels.
Yeah, it's
raises.
just a bump in the number. So a bump in the number does not necessarily mean, now if it's 3,000, that's not a bump. How many milligrams of biotin? 10,000. 10, it's not milligrams though, it's like units or something. 10,000 whatevers.
Gina answered this, but someone asked, can people on dialysis take this? That would be a question for nephrology.
But if you're a nephrologist, come see us. Because we're willing to prescribe it. A lot of people aren't. But we're also actual doctors and nurse practitioners. Oh my God, this is so horrible. The other ones are doctors too, right? I don't know how to say this. We've kind of devoted our lives to this. So that's the best way to say it. Okay, somebody said they were just starting up here. I was on Victoza, raised to 1.2, severe stomach pain. Jack's mom. Number one, if it was severe, did you go to the ER? Did they do lab work? Two, some people need to start super low. With one patient, I know. Look at that. I did balloons. Sorry, I gave you balloons for being on Victoza. Congrats. You can't see it on TikTok, but if you go to AMS, watch AMS, you can see on the YouTube, I gave you balloons. It's a different computer. I don't get it. I can never do the confetti. Anyhow, shoot, there's a ton of questions. So you guys make sure I don't miss any. Need help with the sensitive skin. This is what I use for the sensitive skin. I swear to God, I don't get it. I feel like I'm talking out of my rear end every time I say this, but if I do not do a body armor light a day, I get super weird muscle pain in my upper back and my skin hurts. It's bizarro. I don't get it. Medically, I can't. Why would potassium do that? Like, but I also don't know from my hypokalemic patients, they're usually in extremis, the ones that I know, not the chronic, whatever. And my potassium was fine. It's fine on my labs, but I drink the shit every day. So.
Maybe it's the sodium. Like your body's not used to not having that sodium.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, I salt things a lot less when I'm not eating real food, right? This plus an apple doesn't have much in the way of sodium. Nothing. Oh, we just joined. No, welcome. Welcome, Arizona Mike. We are in Arizona. So we are talking about GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, semaglutide, Wegovy, Victoza, tirzepatide, Zepbound, Manjaro, Saxenda, Rybelsus. And lifestyle stuff, right? Because sometimes if you're on these meds and need to go off for a different reason, sometimes we're not a one-trick pony. Active Medical Solutions is our medical practice, and we'll prescribe everything that's not controlled. And that won't hurt you, right? Like we don't do the FDA class 2 peptides
anymore, unfortunately. Susan wants to take a GLP-1, but she's scared.
Oh,
I think a lot of people are scared at first because you see stuff on TV that freaks you out and scares you, and all these side effects you're going to have, and you're going to die. And the thing is, we've treated over 4,000 patients and haven't seen these horrible problems that they talk about.
Yeah. Oh, I'm vomiting all the time. Well, that's because you didn't talk to your provider. You're on too high of a dose. You went up too fast.
Or you're eating like crap.
Or you're eating stupid shit. Or you have pancreatitis and you need to go to the freaking ER. Like, I don't know. Or you have a stomach bug. I don't know. Like, or God forbid, in honor of, let's be serious, you can still get other things like cancer when you're on these drugs. If you have severe stomach pain, you need to get it evaluated.
Yep.
Let's at least make this be a lesson to the rest of us. Don't ignore things. Don't attribute everything to the drug. It might not be.
Okay, Danny Boba, how do you set a goal weight? I'm a couple pounds from not obese, my original goal, down 70 pounds. So I would set a goal that is within like a normal BMI, but realize that it's a moving target. Like you might get, did you mute me?
No, I didn't mute you. I can't let you join. It's not let me join.
I hope they can hear me, but yeah, it's a moving target. Like you might get close to your goal. Let's say your goal is 150 and you get to like 160 and you're like, I am so happy here. If I lose any more weight, I'm gonna look sick. I don't want to. And and stay there. Like, does it really matter? Your BMI is 25.6? No. Or you might get to that goal and you're like, no, I think I want to go a little farther, and you keep going. So I just plan for like a BMI of 25, 26, and then head towards it and see how you feel.
This is interesting. Two things. Don't let me forget the dream one, but my cholesterol is high. I'm eating so much better now. I don't understand why. At 318, it was good. So we need to look at the breakdown. Because if your HDL is going up, these are known to decrease your LDL and raise your HDL. Am I wrong in that, Neil?
That's correct.
No, it did that exact thing to me.
Okay.
My HDL went up. I wasn't exercising when it did. And my LDL went down, and my VLDL was almost unregisterable.
But it's not abnormal for it to go up while you're losing weight. Like, you're mobilizing fat.
Yeah, so the cholesterol, it's in your blood instead of in your cells. So that's where they take the sample from. I did not think about that, Neil. Thank you.
Yep.
I hardly ever dream, but now I dream almost every night vividly. Can it be the semaglutide? I think yes. I think for a couple of reasons. I mean, there's GLP receptors in your brain, first of all. You're changing your hormones, which will change that. And you might be causing your brain to process things that you used to eat over instead. That's my 2 cents. Thank God my dreams didn't get any crazier. Like, I always have crazy dreams, so thank God.
Pales is on Monjuro 10 and is having pain in her left upper abdomen. I wonder what that could be. I don't know if you saw that one. So it could be a couple of different things. The biggest, I mean, we're all ER trained, so the thing we worry about is stuff that's going to kill you, hurt you really bad. Yeah. So the first thing I worry about left upper abdomen is pancreatitis. So if you're having pain, that's something you need to get checked out. Other possibilities, it's a little bit of gastritis from the things sit in your stomach a little longer, a little acid reflux.
Cruciferous vegetables.
It could even be constipation, and that's just kind of where the poop's kind of turning in your belly, and it's hard and hurts. But left upper abdomen, I probably would go see somebody get labs done.
Yeah. I mean, if you have severe upper abdominal pain, you need to get it checked out. Not to mention, it could be a freaking heart attack. Like, don't ignore things. We get nervous. Yeah, we grew up in the ER, so first things first. Don't kill yourself. Don't get yourself killed.
That's it.
Don't let yourself die. How do I get my insurance to cover a GLP-1? Good luck.
Let us know if you figure it out.
If you figure it out, yeah, let us know, because we have no idea. No, I mean,
the reality is they all have, or many of them have, different requirements, roadblocks, aka whatever you want to call it, or they just don't cover weight loss, period. If they don't cover weight loss, period, it's a losing battle. If they
cover diabetes, but they will take pre-diabetes with a PCOS diagnosis or hypertension or whatever, you really have to call your insurance company and ask what are their clinical criteria for coverage.
Yeah.
Your employer has to choose a plan that will cover it, and some of them don't even have the choice. In Texas, am I wrong in saying in Texas they don't? I don't know. It's an industry I do not understand. Well, that's the purpose, right? As a physician, they don't want me to understand.
Yeah.
No, and they're in business to make money, so they don't want to pay for expensive medications. It's cheaper to tell you to move more and eat less.
Right. That was real cheap for my doctor.
Yeah.
Move more, eat less, go get these labs. Okay, great. Thanks. Yep. See you later. Does it interfere with psych meds? We have patients on even very narrow therapeutic window psych meds that it has not changed those levels. Yeah, this is anecdotal, but it can counteract the weight gain from psych meds.
Well, I mean, it's in the psychiatric journals, they're talking about using it for to help with weight gain from a lot of these antipsychotics and other antidepressants that cause huge amounts of weight gain.
Yeah, Because like you're depressed, so you take a medication to not be depressed, and then you gain a bunch of weight, so you're depressed.
So theoretically, yes, it can, because you're altering absorption, because you're messing with how fast your stomach empties and whatever. So theoretically, yes, you could have altered metabolism. So you could absorb a little more or absorb a little less. But so far, yeah, we haven't really seen that.
Couple of general questions. One, bunch of people are saying, do you get cold?
Weight loss.
Yeah. Even my husband, who's he's a hot burner. He actually started wearing normal clothes, like a coat when it's cold outside. So yeah, and I mean, I was always cold. I'm still cold.
Same.
And then let's the other theme, there's a couple of more questions about prices. Don't be scared to go to amstelehealth.com and click be a patient. We'll tell you everything you want to know. And no price, no charge until we figure out what we're going to do.
Neil, can you
Is that a
type
good way to say it?
Amanda, are you on TikTok right now? Amanda?
Yeah.
Can you just type
Yes.
that into the chat there to tell people that where they can go and that it's no charge until we actually come to a
Mono?
agreement? Or, think it's a
And
good
also,
fit?
yeah, and price wise, it depends on what state you're in, because some pharmacies we can't send to your state.
Yep. Can Ozempic just not help someone? If you're at the highest dose and you have no effect and it's like you're injecting water, it's possible. We've seen one to 4,000. A lot of times it's optimization of dose. If you're at 0.25 and it's not helping, that's not a thing. But yes, it can, you can be a non-responder. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that they try to change to Mounjaro, but it's not covered. That's where we would start to probably do something like add metformin. It depends what you're looking for, right? If you're only looking for weight loss and you don't have any food noise, we attack it one way. We just, it's super individual. Like we don't protocolize any of our care. I don't tell my nurse practitioners how to practice medicine. I do tell them how to do administrative crap because I'm a jerk that way, but but I know they know how to practice medicine, and we all think the same way, pretty much. So that's that. Have we seen these meds help with anxiety or ADHD? Absolutely, yes. I think more people, what do you guys think? I think more people are helped than not with this.
Yes, absolutely.
Some people do have an increase in their anxiety, but we see that much less. Oh, there's a spider on my table.
And I think that's more related to they're anxious because they don't have like food as their like crutch. So it's
I took away your blankie.
Yep.
Like when you don't have that ability to eat your feelings away, it sucks. Who the frig wants to feel feelings? So yeah, and I'm a volume addict. And the only way I can do volume on a GLP-1 is sugar, so that, I'm a nice little addiction transfer. That's fun. So yeah, that's my deal. I haven't talked about this, but if you guys wonder, my brain's a disaster. So I'm not in it just for the appetite suppression. Okay. I'm not in it almost at all for the appetite suppression. I want to be able to eat. I mean, I really, in my soul of souls, would like to be able to do another Ironman. I want to be able to eat. I just want to be able to not live a life run by food. Oh my God, I said it out loud publicly, didn't I?
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Now you have to do it.
And not the food addiction part. That part, like whatever. Everybody knows that part.
So, let's see. There's been a lot of messages, so I hope we haven't talked about it or missed too many. But Jen's on 0.75 of semaglutide.
Sorry.
Jen's on 0.75 of semaglutide, still having days where the cravings are really high and she eats more than she should. Is that normal? Yeah. It's normal. I mean, if you're not having good appetite control for like 7 days, like every week it's like 5, then 4, then 3, it's probably time to go up. But otherwise, sometimes with hormones related to with women, that if you're around your cycle time, you may have periods where you either need to increase the dose that week and then back off.
Sorry.
Well, it's normal. And even some days, like, this week you might take 0.75 and it's like nothing. And the next week you take it and like, oh my God, it's almost too strong. I can't eat at all. So the body is very dynamic. So it can change a little bit each week.
Yeah, even on straight up like Mounjaro grab and stab pen where they standardize the potency of the compounded medications above 90% in the pharmacies that we've worked with, much above, many of them are way above 90%. Because we don't worry necessarily about potency, we worry about sterility first, right? First, do no harm. That's our deal. So, oh yeah, there we go. Shell Bell. The more I work out, the more food I want. Day 2 of 7.5, and I've been grazing all day because I swam. Here is like, as soon as you get your ass out of the water, you got to get a protein shake in. Why did that not make me hungry today until way later? But I did swim today, and that is like a big deal for me, especially swimming. I don't know why. Speaking of which, I took 3 more seconds off my 100 this morning. We're down to 143.
Oh.
I know it's really far from where it was. I got it. I'm climbing up from nowhere. I hear you. But 3 more seconds down. But get this in, like literally put this in your car for after, put it in your bag for after, or something of the sort, right? If you're allergic to this, don't do that. Don't take my advice if you're allergic to something.
Don't do oral allergy stuff.
Right? All right, Neil, run. We got to do questions fast. I mean,
Let's see here. What are your thoughts on splitting doses? Does it give better results? I wouldn't say it gives better results. I think you split doses for side effects.
Agreed.
You know, like if you're having like really bad nausea when you try to bump up a dose, you know, but like the lower dose isn't doing anything for you, I say split your dose. Like, you know, take it today, 3-4 days, like 3 days later, take the other half. And we've had great success with nausea, diarrhea, stomach cramps, just by doing that. Should I do 2 injections in the same spot or not? I would space them out a little bit. I don't think it matters too much, but I would space them out. Like one side of the belly, the other upper, lower.
Yeah, just go around your belly button or something.
Yeah. Let's see.
Melody, I do 1 body armor a day and I don't have muscle aches. Like I had them this morning because I didn't do it yesterday.
Grandma's asking why it's so hard to get Monjaro 5. Eli Lilly said it's available. It depends on the area. Some areas people are finding every dose still. Other areas, all they can find is 2.5.
Is it off the shortage list?
If it is, it ain't. People aren't finding it still.
I'm gonna check it.
It might be a truck somewhere on the way, but
there's 1 truck. There's 1.
Yeah.
Oops.
All right. Amar's asking, is it okay to stay on the same doses, 2 milligrams semaglutide for 2 months, or change it to Monjaro? If you're having good results at that, I would stay there because you have to titrate back up on Monjaro. You'd start lower and work your way back up to get to an acceptable dose. So you might have a period where you're not don't have great appetite control. And if semaglutide is working, I wouldn't fix it. I would stay there until it doesn't work anymore. That and Monjaro is impossible to find. So
yeah, 5 is still on shortage. 2.5 are the only tirzepatide brand, either Zepbound or Monjaro, that are not in shortage. And who the hell can pay for 2 of those anyway? I mean, really. Let me check semaglutide while I'm here.
We got to address this one. So FDD Emily, has anyone else felt a bit depressed on compound semaglutide?
Okay, first things first. If you feel like you want to harm yourself, this is not a telehealth call. This is not a live. This is not asking somebody in a Facebook group. That's a call 911. Okay, don't fuck around. All right, that's my public service announcement. They're not medical advice. Then I get sidetracked. Yes,
as a human advice, please go get help if you feel like hurting yourself.
No, yeah, and we all come from a place. Well, not all of us, but okay, I come from a place that, you know, I've been in really, really low spots. Okay, so. And I've also been on the other side as an ER doctor of people that have been in the low spot and taken action they can't take back. We don't mess around with that. Okay. So, but yes, because, and we still staunchly believe that a lot of this is not only hormone changes, it is, and brain changes, right? Because it changes your brain, changes your hormones. I took away your blankie. If my primary coping skill is food and all of a sudden I can't do it, or God forbid, some of these make you not want to drink, right? And I'm not saying alcoholism is a great thing or turning to alcohol for stress is a great thing, but it won't kill you today, right? So if we take that away, like you can't even drink, like you feel like there are some people who cannot take a sip of alcohol, then like if I take away your blankie, you need something else. And sometimes that is an urgent need, right? So you've got to get help. So but yes, it is something we see, just like a cloud over my head. Yes, some people have brain fog too. So
we had one who developed brain fog like a year and a half in.
I wish we could have fixed that. He was amazing. Probably still is amazing.
He lost a ton of weight.
Yeah. I still think to this day it was either a cardiac thing that was making his energy low, or just really energy partitioning changes that we're going to
Yeah.
change.
I'd still like to know for sure.
Me too. I've had a tummy tuck. Is injection in stomach through scar tissue still effective? How the hell bad's your scar tissue? Find a space
Yeah,
without
that's what I was, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't want the stomach,
I-
you can do the top of the thigh or the back of the arm.
Yeah.
Don't do scar tissue though. The
Yeah.
vascularity is not there. Just move around the scar, move below the scar, above the scar. Hopefully it's not that bad. If it is that bad, I'm really, really sorry. 10 milligrams tirzepatide still get sugar cravings. Is there anything else I can take? Make sure you're getting your 100 grams of protein in a day, 50 grams before noon. And if you need to go up or add metformin or naltrexone. The craving thing, we could do naltrexone, you know,
Hit that protein first thing in the morning.
now I feel super sick. I swear to God. I was starving. See, here's the key. Routine. Which compound do I recommend? I am team tirzepatide all the damn way.
Whichever one you can afford.
But
Yeah. At the
yeah,
end of the day, whichever one you can afford, and if it works for you. Like I think semaglutide is a fantastic medication. We've had lots of patients lose lots of weight on it. Courtney's husband has lost a ton of weight on it.
God, yeah. Is he over
And
100 right now? I bet he's over 100 pounds.
yeah. So, you know, if that's what you can afford as a compounded, I would take that route first. If it doesn't work for you, which it's very few people it doesn't work for, I would stay there.
Ozempic is not in shortage, by the way. Weight loss doses of Wegovy of 1.7 and 2.4 are available, but the lower doses to get someone there are still in shortage with no turnaround time listed.
So when patients come to us and they want a PA and we get the PA, we start them on compounded until they can, you know, find a dose, or we start them on brand and then bring them over to compounded, whatever we have to do.
Same, Mama Bear. Sometimes it's 5 milligrams, next week 7.5 because the body is dynamic, and sometimes I am batshit crazy. If my husband were to answer that, he'd probably say all the time. Or neither.
I'm kind of working from the top down. I'm not sure where you guys are at. Monzero's asking a substitute for Spark. I'm assuming that's the energy drink.
Oh yeah, it's the Advocare energy drink.
Any energy
What are you
drink?
drinking, Neil?
Today I'm drinking Rise Fuel. It is
Okay.
Kool-Aid flavored. I think any energy drink, they're all about the same. I'm sorry. Whichever one tastes good to you.
I do too. And whichever one doesn't give you heart palpitations and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's whatever one you can tolerate and taste good.
So
Just go for lots and lots of coffee.
If you like lots of caffeine, if you're one of those, bangs your friend or rain. If not, there's lots of other ones with way less.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, you know, if you want to do something like a B12, you know. Yeah, that's one of the things that we just added into the repertoire, is actually saying things that we work on is energy management, because that's not just with drugs, right? It could be an Amazon supplement. It could be reappropriating when you're eating a couple of bites of fruit in the afternoon to boost your energy, give your brain a little glucose, right? Because your brain runs on glucose exclusively. Yeah, if you already take B12, Mama Bear, something. Oh yeah, compound works well for me. Yeah, I agree. Somebody said something. Okay, Neil, what are we missing? You're watching now?
I'm trying to like work from the top down.
From top down, because I'm going bottom up.
Yep. Let's see here. Changing insurance. Is there a place I can get compounded to my new insurance? From Chantel Beck. Absolutely. Come see us.
Yeah.
If you're in one of our states, go to amstelehealth.com, see if you're in one of our states, and click the become a patient button if you want to come see us.
And if you're not in our states, go to hamiltontelehealth.com or maribeltelehealth.com. I made her get a website that was easy to remember. What is compound? Compound is where they take the base chemical of a drug and combine it with other things, whether it's for allergy reasons, copyright reasons, flavorful reasons, like for kids. In the case that we're talking about, the semaglutide tirzepatide landscape, as we know, there's shortages everywhere, can't get it. So the companies take the base chemical from a supplier, sterilize it, and sterilely prepare it for acceptable injectable process into humans. How much is tirzepatide? Sorry, go ahead.
Monzero's asking, is Premier like a meal replacement? Kind of. It's mostly a protein shake. I think it's pretty low in carbs, so I like that better anyway, because I'd rather have a protein shake and then like eat something real with it, like whether it's a granola bar, an apple, a banana. So I feel like I got something.
we don't ever use meal replacements. We don't like diets. We don't literally, it's like, what do you need to get in, right? From a positive standpoint, we don't want to cut things out per se. We want to fill your diet, fill your body with good things it needs. You should see this is pretty funny right here. Here, I'll show you. This is the morning, right? This is my morning. Coffee, LaCroix, Body Armor, and and the dog. And an apple that I threw over. Thank you, Lena. And the apple that I just threw out, which was the rest of my morning, and collagen this morning. So really it's instead of saying, what can I not eat? What do you need to eat to foster your body working at its best, whether you're on the medication or not? So it's, how do we, if you're anything like me, on a good note, Neil, I'll tell you, I had a meeting with a 401k advisor yesterday. I'm telling Neil because he always makes fun of me for being old. And she did not give me the options for the 50-year-olds catch-up contributions, because I was asking her for the SEP IRA versus a 401k, and 401k I can catch-up contribution. She goes, you don't look anywhere near 50. I didn't offer. I'm like, thanks. So the point is to live forever in a good way. Yeah, no, that's it. If you can get your protein by food, not shakes, I am lazy as a general rule. Or sometimes I don't feel like eating protein. Or I don't have time to make food. Like today, I was like in the middle of this, you missed it earlier, and I was starving. So I did what I could do.
So there's a couple of which is the best for losing weight, which is the safest compound in your opinion, or which compound do you recommend? I think we kind of hit those a little bit with whichever one you could afford. Weight loss wise, tirzepatide is going to be the strongest in the studies. Now, everybody's individual, so we've had people lose a ton of weight on semaglutide or even like liraglutide.
Well, Billy's still on here, yeah.
So
he was on really low doses for a long time.
Yeah. So everybody's a little different. I would say they're both equally safe. I would trust either one to my family.
So Cat Lady said, you can afford it for I don't know how long. Insurance would rather pay for depression and blood pressure meds. Yeah, because they're $4. I would too. But however, they don't work for what I need. So I'm hoping, I don't know. Oh yeah, this pisses me off to no end. My insurance covers gastric bypass. Now, we have nothing against it, right? I used to be like, because all I saw in the ER was all these complications, right? So my viewpoint was skewed. But since I studied for the obesity medicine boards, I actually think gastric bypass absolutely has a place. Now, I want to start working with bariatric surgeons to get people on a low dose semaglutide after, so they don't want to overeat their stitches, right? First of all, I do have an acquaintance that ruptured her freaking sutures because the binge eating wasn't under control. She literally had a septic abdomen because she ruptured her sutures. You don't want that to happen. And I know you go through counseling before, but listen, you never know what it's going to feel like until you're there, right? It's like having a kid. People can tell you all you want. Go to medical school. People can tell you all you want what it's going to feel like. So yeah, I think that support around that, and not just a nutritionist, maybe medication, the low dose, I don't care if it's what, I mean, like it's the 0.1 of semaglutide. I don't know, super cheap as hell. Not super cheap, but you know what I'm saying, right? Okay.
Let's see. So someone was asking where we are located. We're located online, but yeah, most of us are in Texas. So most states, I think we have like 11 other states.
Amanda's in Virginia.
Amanda's in Virginia.
Never home. Who the hell knows where she is?
Yeah. Francis asking, I'm on low dose prednisone, 7.5 daily. Will that hinder my ability to lose weight on tirzepatide?
Straight up, yes.
Yeah.
However, it will not stop it. It just makes it harder. Takes a long ass time. Why is the compound more than the brand name pen? It is not. Who the hell are you going through? They're upcharging.
Well, some do. The one pharmacy, if you buy directly from the pharmacy, it was like twice as much as if we purchase it first for the patient.
Yeah. So if you went to one of our pharmacies, it is literally 2 times as much as us getting it for you. But some clinics, some providers will double the price because they know you'll pay it. We don't do that. We do an upcharge for administrative fees and tech fees that pays for, this, not the public part, but just the ability to prescribe the meds, we pay, I don't know, almost $1,000 a month to be able to prescribe medication. Um, just saying, like, and we're pretty open. We tell you, whatever, we'll tell you. I'm from Texas. Houston, look at
Yeah.
on the road, ready? Waving. Sorry, I'm just punchy. I'm always punchy. I have to pee too, just so you know.
Let's see over there.
What did we miss? What did we miss? Victoria. I don't know which direction that is for me. I have a terrible sense of direction. I'm like, shit. I think it's that way, but I'm not totally positive. Oh yeah.
Oh boy. What
My husband nicknamed me Magellan because I can't find my way anywhere.
Amy Baby's asking, what about intermittent fasting while taking tirzepatide?
Sure.
I don't see a problem with honestly any diet really while you're taking tirzepatide. However, if you want to be successful when you get off of tirzepatide, if that's the plan, I think you need to follow a diet that is sustainable when you get off. So something you can kind of still follow. If you plan on doing intermittent fasting the rest of your life, sure. But I like to model diets more around like the Mediterranean style diet, just with higher lean protein. So first thing you do is you eat your lean proteins, then you get your fruits and vegetables in, and if there's room, your carbs, your rice, your potatoes, sweet potato, whatever. Most of the time on the meds, you don't have room for those things. You don't even have room for the vegetables.
So also, it depends what you mean by intermittent fasting. I try to fast. Oh shit, I set my thing last night and I forgot to turn it off. See, this is what happens. But I hit my button because I try to fast 12 hours or more a day, really 13, because I want more than half of my life to not be about food. Well, that's like sleep, right? It's like dinner to breakfast. Like it's not a big deal. Still called technically intermittent fasting. We all intermittent fast when we don't eat between meals. So I don't like you do an alternate day fast. I don't think that's a good idea ever. I don't think prolonged fasting. I know I'm going to get some arguments. I hear you. If it works for you, fine, but make sure it's medically supervised, not by us, because we're not going to approve it. So, I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, we got.
I like this one. My BMAP 20. My guy told me that I am wrong to think the GLP-1 helped my PCOS. He said it was the weight.
Fuck that. Sorry.
What?
He needs to read something.
Yes.
And honestly, how could he not read this? It's
Well,
everywhere.
it also depends on what you mean by helps your PCOS. That's a complicated statement because are you talking about helps your PCOS as in helps your infertility? Then no, that's not what a GLP-1 is for. But if it helps your PCOS, meaning hopefully downregulate your hormones, it may not downregulate your androgen. That's honest, but it is going to sensitize your insulin. It's going to hopefully, as you lose weight, helpfully decrease those extra androgens as well. But maybe he is just oversimplifying that it does not directly decrease your androgens. It does not directly, alter your hormone balance. But yes, all of those things will be improved as you lose weight. So there's my PCOS
women's health guru. So yeah, no, that's
But even in practice, like I've had a patient that was met her goal and she went off meds and then we went back on to help her PCOS because metformin didn't do anything for her. And she's taking 1.25 milligrams of tirzepatide like every 10 days and her PCO symptoms are gone.
Did it change the hair too? The hirsutism?
So the hair, what they say is that once the hair follicle is there, it is there. So even the it flew right out of my head, the diuretic spironolactone, you're suppressing new hair growth. You're not undoing the current hair growth. The only thing to undo an existing hair follicle is a laser or electrolysis. So so that's where I think it's an oversimplification to say it quote unquote does not help your PCOS because PCOS.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean it's way an oversimplification because I try to put people on it all the time in the real world and here. But it's not an approved treatment, quote unquote. If you look up approved treatments for PCOS, you're going to find, supplement the estrogen. Metformin is not even quote unquote a first line therapy anymore because You have to then, now what I'm doing for people is proving their insulin resistance. Then no one can come back and say you didn't need the metformin, because I proved they're insulin resistant. One girl was like almost triple on her insulin. It was like 35, her fasting insulin. It was crazy. But at 100% normal A1C. So someone else is going to say you don't need metformin, you don't need a GLP-1. But that's not the case. PCOS is an endocrine disorder, but it depends on how you're looking at it. Because even in women's health, I run into people saying, what do you mean their PCOS is untreated? Well, yeah, they're obese. They're fighting, their crazy whacked out metabolism. Their PCOS is untreated. Well, they're like, well, they're not trying to get pregnant. Well, okay. So there's a lot of different opinions and what I would consider almost misinformation. So there you go.
Yep. All right. There's a ton of questions I think we're missing because I can't get there.
Yeah, we're getting there. Jennifer is asking if we think the pharmacy's concentrations vary. They do. Every pharmacy uses their own concentration. So like when people message us and like, oh, I'm taking this many units, I can't tell you anything because I don't know the concentration. And some pharmacies, you might take 8 units for your dose. Other pharmacies, you might take 50 units for your dose. So some are just super concentrated. Erin's been on Wegovy for 2 months. She's about to start 1 milligram this Saturday. She's only lost 4 pounds. Hang in there. Those aren't the weight loss doses anyway. They're basically the escalation doses to get you to the 1.7 and the 2.4, which are the weight loss doses. 1 might be the dose for you though. Like you might start to see some good appetite suppression right there.
We have a cancer question. Hold on. Follicular
Yeah.
carcinoma, thyroid cancer. Number one, it's a provider question. Okay. Yeah, I have so much to say that I don't want to say publicly. It's a provider question. It really is. And that's something you would need to discuss with your provider. So really anything we do is risk benefit, right? There's a risk in the studies of mutant mice developing medullary thyroid carcinoma with these medications in high doses. So if your mouse, definitely not, don't take it. It's a provider question. Can you that's like there are 13 obesity related cancers. So again, which risk is higher, right? A different type of thyroid cancer risk that's theoretical versus the absolute known risk of 13 kinds of cancer from obesity. So, that's a discussion. It is a discussion with your provider, right? Nobody wants to get cancer, but nobody is talking about the ones you get from being obese. So it's a big provider question, to be honest. From a strict standpoint, I'd say no, but then I think I'm cutting you off at the knees. Then I think I'm not, oh, you got thyroid cancer, don't take a chance. Well, what about the other 13 cancers you're going to get from being obese? So I think there's a lot to unpack in those discussions that, you'd have to talk to the provider and kind of document, for sure, and say, hey, we talked about it. I think the risk outweighs the benefit, so I'm not going to do it. Or we talked about it. I think the benefit outweighs the risk. Like in the ER, when we do CAT scans on pregnant patients, because if we don't find a blood clot in the lung, mom and baby both die. That's a pretty big risk. So
I'm gonna hit this one. Jack's mom is asking, so there's no cheat day well on Ozempic.
I mean,
some people can overeat the drug. Some people can overeat the drug, using sugar like Dr. Gibbons can. I had somebody who would take their dose of Mounjaro on Monday mornings, so then it would kind of wear off on Sundays so they could watch football and eat like crap. Still lost weight, but that was how he did it. So I do have patients that like it wears off day 6, day 7. They do use it to like refuel, so they have energy for like their workouts for the week. And as long as we're still going in the right direction, that's fine.
And there's also, while you're on it, you may find, and I've found this, and I've had patients tell me this, that you really will get satisfied after a couple of bites of a quote unquote cheat food. Um, you taste it, you enjoy it, and you're done. Whereas prior to the med, it may be a huge trigger and send you down a spiral. You can bounce back from those quote unquote cheats much quicker than without the med.
Well, and on a good note, not only, my psyche's got to get out of the shame cycle when it does happen, which that's other work, right? That's not GLP-1 work. GLP-1 work makes it possible for me, but my body is able to handle a crap day, because my crap days are never cute social crap days, right? My crap days happen because my brain's a disaster. I don't have any trouble socially. It's not a problem. But also if I do have a bad day where I turned to food for solace, enjoyment, whatever it was, my body I don't continue to gain weight, right? 2 days later, the water weight's gone, the food weight's gone, and I can carry on. Now, like I said, I'm 8 pounds up because chronically my diet quality is not fantastic. Or I go through, highs and lows where it's not. I still haven't really recovered from the Christmas Easter debacle, which is unfortunate, but that's a mental thing, right? That's a mental shift. So the metabolic changes that I have, I don't suffer as much after screwing up. I crave sugar on it and that's all I want to eat. I got to nail this one. Yeah, I hear you. You know why? Because your brain wants the hit. It's the only thing you can use to overeat the drug. Sucks. I get it. That's why my diet quality is shit, because I don't want to eat anything else, because if I don't eat anything else, I can't overeat. Or if I eat healthy food, I can't overeat. And my brain wants me to overeat, which sucks. Yeah, I hear you. It's a hilariously fun catch-22. I feel you. Okay. How much are they? So what are you, I need to learn this really badly. It's like 200 or so to start. I could be wrong. Neil, say this for me.
Yeah, it's like 200 to start. Depending on the state, about 200 to start for the tirzepatide, and then it is about 150 to start semaglutide.
So if we say about 200, depending on the state for tirzepatide, 150, depending on the state, to start semaglutide with AMS, right? That's not anywhere, period.
This one, Tracy's, any suggestions for when you have been on 15 for a long time and now gaining weight and not losing anymore? Did we hit that one? I don't think we hit that one.
We didn't, but I have a very good friend who is in the same boat. She drinks wine every day.
So first thing is, there's always the possibility of adding something. A lot of times we'll add on like metformin to people to get them going again when they can't go up or can't afford to go up there if they're uncompounded. First thing is I would look at what you're eating, the quality of the food that you're eating, and like the types of food that you're eating, meaning that are you eating a high protein diet? Typically, like, if you've been on here with us for a while, we really preach 100 grams of protein for women. If they have normal kidney function per day, which most people are not getting that. And it takes some effort to get there and some planning. So that's where I would start. And I would start the day at 30 grams of protein for breakfast. And that's where I would go. And then look at how much you're actually moving.
Yep. And when, we're not saying, although strength training is health is necessary for health benefits, we're not saying you've got to go join a gym and work out all day, every day, walk around the block, get up out of your chair, that sort of thing. Somebody asked real quick if we can take a patient in Costa Rica. We do not have a license anywhere but the states we are licensed. We do not. That's just law. I don't even know how to get licensed in a different country. I have no idea.
There.
Shit, I can't even get the states done. They take months. Neil, this one's for you.
Uh-oh.
Dar Binks. I love that. Sorry. I love that name. That's fantastic. Can you discuss semaglutide impact on testosterone? Mine has dropped 25%, hoping it'll come back up. I don't know of any effects other than
it should not have any theoretical effect on your testosterone. I mean, as you lose weight, it should more normalize anyway, and your estrogen should drop because fat is, you know, estrogen producing. When it gets big enough, an estrogen producing organ, it basically becomes. So yeah, I don't understand. They should not have dropped. It might be something else. It might just depends, you know, it depends on when you had it tested last time. Like if you had it tested in the afternoon and one time and in the morning the other time, it's going to vary. It's highest first thing in the morning. So that is a possibility.
Yeah, that's not my wheelhouse.
We are not licensed in Kentucky. We are licensed in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Kentucky, go to Hamilton Telehealth or maribeltelehealth.com.
Oh, we get to talk about poop.
What we got? Oh, we get to talk about poop.
Yeah, Denise asking,
Oh,
what can we
somebody asked
take to help for
earlier if
poop
you could
on
take,
Ozempic?
yeah, somebody asked if we could take Metamucil every day. The answer was yes. Sorry, I missed the question. You might have gotten it.
Nope, we didn't get it.
Not
Otherwise, yeah, we like Miralax to kind of get things going. It works really well. It's not one you have to like sit by the toilet all day. Does not work if you don't drink fluids.
Yes, we're in Florida. Most of our patients are in Texas and Florida because those were the first 2 licenses I got. You strangers have helped me more than my provider. Thank you. Why we're here.
That makes me feel good and bad at the same time.
I know, right? We're super happy that we could do so. But think about this too. We can hang out here for 2 hours, which is what we do. I can't hit the button to have anybody go live. I don't know what's going on. I can't hit any buttons on my screen. My screen's all messy today. I don't know what's, but anyhow, yeah, that's why we do what we do, right? Just to at least tell you that there are providers out there that give a shit. And the ones that don't give a shit are probably burnt out, overworked, and take insurance.
Yeah.
That's the short version. Sterile peptides cannot be shipped into California. I don't even think they can ship within the state of California. Now, we don't practice in California. Maribel does, maribeltelehealth.com. I got to make sure that's her website before I keep spouting that off. So we have no problem prescribing brand name. We don't just do compound. We don't just do semaglutide. We don't just do GLP-1s. Oh shit. Speaking of which, Amanda, I still haven't done your Zofran.
That's all right. She hasn't thrown up today.
Shit. Yeah. Yes, it is maribeltelehealth.com. It'll get to Maribel. Maribel's my California chickie. Oh, thank you, Blue Blaze. Tap the screen. Yeah. I can't because it does some weirdo focus thing that I'm not going to do it again because it makes me look funny. I knew Neil was going to say something. I'm like, why do people that don't have diabetes lose more weight than those who do? It's a hell of a question. I believe, in my educated guess, that they have metabolic repair that needs to be done before their body starts letting go of the weight. Almost the same as that steroid weight on people. You need the metabolic repair. It needs to dig in. I you know what? But we also have some obese, not even terribly obese people that just have like, I mean, I don't know. I was an early responder, so I'm super grateful for that. But anyhow, want to stop because of the skin issues. What skin issues?
She's having the tingling and she's going to try the body armor, which is what I definitely try the body armor or whichever one you like, and don't stop right away. And it might be 1 a day. It might be 2 a day.
Right. Yeah, no, that I'm telling you, like it's like, you know, when you have the flu and your hair hurts and you're like, ah, yeah, that's what it feels like for me.
Shelly's asking, what do you think about AOD 9604?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because we can't prescribe it anymore. The FDA made it a class category 2, that its safety does not outweigh its risk. There was decent data on it, but they can't see me, but I'm holding a Prime up.
Holding up Prime. Yeah, any electrolyte drink that works for you. Body Armor Light works great for me. What do we think of Optavia? I think if you can stick to it and you want to eat prepackaged food for convenience all the time and have extra money to throw at it, I think that's great. Not really. It's not well, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's a low calorie diet. It's a medically supervised low calorie diet, sort of medically supervised. Usually now they're like Beachbody-ish coaches now. It's a low calorie diet, right? The reason that they do it prepackaged is because it has been shown across study and study and study that when you prepackage something, this is prepackaged, right? It's easier to maintain ability, like it's easier. So people stick to it. If I got to do 3 hours of food prep a day, I'm not going to stick to that.
So a couple more, like people are saying like body armor helps for the skin sensations. So yeah, and someone asked Gatorade. Gatorade Zero, absolutely. Anything with electrolytes, liquid IV, prime hydration, any of the supermarket brands is fine.
Yeah, Octavia, tried it twice. It's a waste of money. I don't disagree.
Let's see. And then someone's asking about
I eat a
stretching
lot.
doses.
I eat a lot of like nasty prepackaged shit. So if I say it's bad, it's
So someone, I think so when you hit your goal, typically, you know, if you're on compounded, actually either way, I'd like you to come down a dose and just keep a stable dose. So keep it every 7 days and just kind of start tapering down. If you're on branded and that's what you're paying for, we'll stretch them out 7, 8, 9, 10 days.
yeah.
I don't like much more than that because then you start to have side effects sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's electrolytes, not necessarily body armor. Yes, body armor is my choice because that's what I kind of started on and I'm afraid to move. Now there's a Publix brand that they don't make anymore, liquid IV in a powder form. I tried regular liquid IV. It doesn't taste as good, but I'll tolerate it, you know. Whatever.
Yeah, it's whichever one you like and you will drink.
Yeah.
And that my favorite question again.
Can you drink on Ozempic? You can, but if you drink a lot, you're running a huge risk of getting pancreatitis, stalling your weight loss, wasting your money, wasting your time, and killing yourself. How's that? Did I sum it up?
But you can.
But you can.
I wouldn't.
But that's like me saying, Neil, can I eat ice cream on Ozempic, right? It's a great.
You sure can.
I absolutely can. The sugar makes me feel like shit for about 18 hours. It raises my heart rate by 20 beats a minute. Because when I say eat ice cream, I'm not talking, oh, let's have a little dish of ice cream. You know, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, right?
So Mama Kels likes that you're honest. She's sometimes too honest. She's really interested in Ozempic or one of the other meds, but nervous for side effects. Don't be. A lot, you know, yes, you might have them and you might be significant, but they're way overblown in social media. People do get nauseated. If you're with a good provider, we manage our patients' side effects, and it's not just with medications, it's with the meds that we're, or the foods that we're eating, the timing of the foods, the types of foods, it can have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, we have not had a patient. I've had one patient that I could not mitigate side effects for. So what we did instead is we started her at 1.25 instead of 2.5 of tirzepatide, monitor the hell out of her diet, volume, vegetables, because that was her culprit. Cruciferous, probably. And she's fine. She has a ton of food noise. So she needed this drug. Like, dude, it's a mental health drug. She needed it. And I know her. She needed this damn drug.
Let's see. Dee's asking, how about Himalayan salt?
We missed the ostomy question.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't have any trouble with people with an ostomy on this, but you got to maintain good bowel movements, right? You don't want to get you need to poop. I don't care where it comes out of, you need to poop.
Yep. He's asking about Himalayan salt with your water rather than Body Armor Light. So
Bill prefers Celtic sea salt.
I like Celtic sea salt, and I put it in my Prime because Prime for me does not have enough sodium. It has like 20 milligrams, and I like at least 300 in mine. I kind of take it to where just before it's salty. So you need some potassium with the Himalayan sea salt.
Oh, this is a good question. On third shot of Zepbound and gained a pound, does it take time to start to lose? Some people do not respond at the lower doses. Some people don't even feel it. Now, when you feel it, you're going to know it. People are like, well, how do I know what my dose is? You will know. Literally 6 hours later, I was like, holy shit, my brain's quiet up here. What's going on? And I didn't think about food. My body didn't want food. My body's like, no, I got enough. Thanks. I got plenty. Start burning it. Okay.
Taz, feel so tired. Just started and we'll take second shot on Thursday. Any suggestions or will this go away? Many times this does go away. It might just be because you're not eating anything at all. So a lot of times, like if you're really fatigued, like even before, like I would go to the gym when I was on semaglutide, I would eat just like a couple apple slices to just kind of give me a little boost. Didn't really, it filled me up with those couple apple slices, but I have a little bit of sugar and I did feel better. So
And
that's what I
hydration.
would start.
Hydration. Don't forget hydration, because if you're dehydrated, you're gonna feel like shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so, that insurance will start paying. I'm really hoping what it's probably going to take, in my opinion, is government regulation of the prices. They're going to say, guys, our society needs these, bring it the fuck down. Sorry. Took me long enough to swear. I should really swear. I did swear earlier. Do you really have to alcohol swab before the shot? Yes, 100%. Sterility is number one concern.
I think that's because I think diabetics get so used to like doing shots that they just like do it through their genes and like whatever. But yes, I would clean off with alcohol.
Every time, even if you're diabetic, even whenever time, like
it's cheap. Got a big box of 100 of them, you know, or 200 or wherever they come in. So
do I do it every time? With the compounded, yeah. Because I'm chicken with the compounded.
how long does the diarrhea last? Just started last week.
Yeah, there's lots to unpack.
It
like, hold on.
typically, yeah, it typically does go away.
Yeah.
What's that?
What are you on? What are you eating?
Yeah.
If you're on semaglutide, I'm not surprised. Once in a while, we get a few tirzepatide lately with diarrhea. You gotta watch the food.
Yeah, usually it is constipation is a side effect, but in the studies it's equal. It's like 25% got constipated and 25% got diarrhea, which is not what we see. We see way more with constipation and very, very few with diarrhea. It could be the medicine. It could be what you're eating while you're on the medicine. Like that really fatty foods that you used to be eating may not be able to be tolerated anymore. So I like a food diary, and then you start picking it apart, and then you have some data.
Yeah, always data, whatever, either or. It's all good. How much like Ozempic is a GLP-1? Ozempic is an example of a brand name of a GLP-1 medication. So GLP-1s include everything in that class, from Biduron, Byetta, Saxenda, tirzepatide. They're all in that class of medications. Tirzepatide is the first one to add a second hormone receptor analog to that. So that was the first one. If they ever get retatrutide coming down the pike here, can't even make the shit they do make, we'll have a 3 receptor, and we're all going to lose the damn weight. Be careful and don't miss a dose of Ozempic. Gastroparesis is real. While these medications by nature slow down your transit time to what would be considered gastroparesis without pain. So that's kind of not the same thing, but yeah, gastroparesis is also caused by diabetes. So
I can't remember the numbers, but it was pretty high. Like it was like 10 or 15% of people with type 2 diabetes will develop gastroparesis.
Seriously.
It was pretty high. Yeah. And the amount of people, I have to look it back. I had my number somewhere. Wow. The amount of people that have gotten gastroparesis on this for us is 0 out of 4,000 some patients. I have not seen it. I keep hearing about it from one of the surgeons that comes and hangs out in the ER. He has not seen it either, but he keeps talking about it.
Does he do trauma too?
He does trauma, and he's very opinionated.
Does he need the tirzepatide?
That's his decision when he's ready.
I always wanted to poke the chair. Just saying. Yeah.
But I love him, and he does what's right for the patient every single time.
I love him more than always. Yeah, right. That is never in question. I love the man.
He's the only person cutting on me.
Right, for damn sure. Yeah. Has anyone experienced depression on it? I'm going to give the super quick answer, yes. And if you ever feel like you're going to hurt yourself, that's a 911 call, not your telehealth provider, not me on TikTok, not my whole crew on Watch AMS. That's a big deal. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but people do get depressed. And a lot of times we think it's because I just took away your blankie. You don't have coping skills. I can't binge, and I really can't even binge like I used to. It doesn't,
Go to the hospital, call 911.
Do something.
Google it, and there's hotlines. You can talk to somebody all the way to the hospital, or they will call it for you while you stay on the phone with them.
It's a big deal.
You literally can't type that word in to any search engine without a ton of stuff popping up.
Yeah. So no, if you're depressed enough to think about hurting yourself, you need to act on that right now, not tomorrow, because sometimes you make a decision that gives you no tomorrow. Okay. That's a big deal. Normal to want water. Yeah, but make sure you get some electrolytes in it. Even if it's throwing a pinch of salt in there, you got to have some electrolytes. Do not just do what we call free water, which is plain water. Don't do that.
Melissa's asking, her husband's a pre-diabetic and needs to lose about 30 to 40 pounds. Does he meet criteria? So for the insurance, possibly, it depends on what his BMI is and if he has other conditions that may make him eligible for the prescription version or the brand name version. For us, he would meet our criteria more than likely, depending on, some other factors, but we treat pre-diabetes.
So somebody asked on Facebook, where is the statement from on work in pharma and also in regulatory affairs? Show me the FDA regulation for the 28-day claim. Because I said it was for sterility, not potency. So why? Okay, this is a good question. Why would the FDA give a shit about potency? They don't care what's effective.
No,
They care what's safe. So that's an assumption on my part. I hope Lena's listening because I don't feel like typing this out. She just sent me a text.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but that's a good question. I assumed because they don't care about potency. They care about sterility and safety.
But even then, like they test them way farther out for sterility and for potency. It's just the FDA is making them say that it's only 30 days. I think one of the pharmacies we don't use anymore says they've tested theirs past 120 days and they label theirs as good for 90. And there's testing it farther as well for potency and sterility. Yeah, it's not like,
Job to keep us safe.
What's that?
The FDA's job is to keep us safe.
Yes. Yeah, it's not like today it's perfectly safe and at midnight it's garbage and you're going to get an infection. It's not. But yeah, their job is to keep you safe. He doesn't think, so Melissa, good to know. He doesn't think he would qualify. He also has high blood pressure. Yeah, so more than likely with insurance, high blood pressure and a BMI over 27, his insurance may cover it. There are some insurances that are requiring a BMI of 40 before they'll cover things. So they're all a little different. When 30 is considered obese.
Oh my God, I'm so fine. Okay, we got a patient, our patient here.
Okay, where at?
Do they really care about safety? Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing my best here, it's all good. But I do think they care about safety first, right? Because otherwise they wouldn't make us do all these studies upon studies upon studies upon studies. So the lawyers don't, do their thing. They need to prove that a medication is safe before it gets FDA approved. Like, remember there was an oral GLP-1 that got taken off the market because it was causing problems, right? So those are the FDA hoops they have to jump through. Those are the phases for FDA approval. So that's why I assume that the 28 days was safety. That's an assumption on my part. Could be wrong. Let's see. Finally moved the scale, not much, but some. Yeah, we got lots of success stories this week, so that's good. I know I do the best.
Will the nausea subside after using it? Yeah, usually it does get better. Sometimes it'll come back when you go up a dose. Sometimes you might have nothing for like the first 6-8 weeks, and all of a sudden you get nauseated when you go up one dose. So we just kind of manage those as we need to.
Somebody has how much have I lost? 45-ish. I was down to 50 pounds. Currently I'm 45-ish, somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. And that was pretty quick. And then I'm hanging out, fighting, fighting to keep it up. All right. I got like 2 more minutes.
I don't know if you saw this one. So Jenny Mack was saying she was on Ozempic. I became dehydrated and went into ketoacidosis, gastroparesis, and the diarrhea was bad.
It's a really high dose. Was your doctor managing it? Because whatever the dose was, it was too high for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my 2 cents, right? Because if you got dehydrated, there's only one way you can get dehydrated. Well, if you have diarrhea super bad, you can get dehydrated, but that's only if you cannot keep the fluids in from the top, right? Or you're not getting in enough.
You're not eating anything, get dehydrated, your body's going to turn into ketosis, which could lead to ketoacidosis from the dehydration.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, dehydration is real. That's why they call it kidney injury. It's acute kidney injury is from dehydration. Because side effects aren't managed, frankly. And it's not always medication on side effects. It's not how we manage them all. You know, does it cause anxiety? Yeah, sometimes, especially when you can't eat your feelings.
Caitlin's saying high BP, BMI 38, type 2 diabetes managed down to pre-diabetes. My doctor said I'd be denied. So once you have diabetes, you always have type 2 diabetes. Your numbers may show like pre-diabetes numbers, but you still have that diagnosis.
And you still can be denied if your insurance plan doesn't cover it.
Correct.
They could say take insulin instead. That's what worked for me. It took a month, got the denial letter, set it back. Yeah, that's in some, yeah. The
Some are
insurance,
automatically denying things because they know your doctor will not do an appeal because it takes too much work. A lot of them won't even do a PA because it takes too much work.
can't afford it, right? They can't afford it. We brought on staff just to do prior authorizations and appeals. And, you know, they're not volunteering. So there's that. Let's see. Thank you for the follows and the likes. Love you all. Thank you. Do I have thoughts about taking a break to reset receptors? You know, I used to say no, but you just have to know that when you start again, you should start lower, right? We can ramp you up faster if you're our patient. But you have to start low again. I don't have the guts to do so. My brain's still, that's a hot mess on the meds sometimes. So I don't have the guts to do it. But that's personal anecdote, right? And I don't have any studies on it. So, I mean, is it detrimental, right? You're not going to die without the drug. Even if you're diabetic, it's not this drug that's saving your life. Long-term, yes. Today, no. If you're a type 1 diabetic, it's not approved for that anyway.
Emma's saying I have prediabetes, high cholesterol, PCOS, and hypertension. Wegovy was denied even after appeals. Well, it depends. If you don't have a BMI over 27, they're not going to cover it. It is possible they just don't cover it, period. No matter what you have, they won't cover it. It is possible you have to meet step therapy. Like you have to have tried like 3 or 4 other medications before they'll cover it.
Right. You
They
need
don't
to
make it easy.
call and find out what the clinical criteria for coverage are. You know, sometimes it's like you said, like Neil said, it's doing a bunch of, you have to do step therapy and all the other things. I suggest Wegovy. We would suggest semaglutide if you're doing compounded and don't have any money, or not. Sorry, that was like super blunt. You know what I mean?
Depending on your budget, semaglutide is typically
Yeah,
cheaper than
for real.
tirzepatide,
Semaglutide's cheaper if it works.
especially when you get to high doses.
Yes. But Wegovy you can't get. So I don't know. What you can afford. We suggest what you can afford and what's available. That combo, the intersection for those lower doses in semaglutide is usually compounded. For higher doses in Mounjaro or tirzepatide, Zepbound is usually compounded. So it sort of depends on what you can get where. Yeah. Yeah, with insurance, Wegovy and Zepbound are FDA approved for weight loss. I'm sorry, I'm bothered by that FDA comment when somebody was like, what do you mean it's not for potency? I don't. Oh yeah. You're welcome, Stephanie. I just don't lie. I'm not gonna do it. So when the lawyer said, well, we could do the nothing approach and just have them, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not acceptable to me. I can't. I need to solve this shit today. I can't. I think I did everything right. So I'm not willing to sit back and say I didn't. I just don't think my insurance covers it all. BMI is like 50. Emma, what state are you in? We need to help you.
AMStelehealth.com.
Yeah, amstelehealth.com to find us. If you're not in our states, go to Hamilton Telehealth or Maribel
Ohio,
Telehealth.
come see us.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ohio.
amstelehealth.com. Neil's from Ohio.
Yep.
Oh,
Go
wait.
Buckeyes.
Yeah. My husband's from Ohio too. And Neil's not my husband. Just saying. Neil's my work husband. Hubby can't get a 7.5 Zepbound Wegovy leftover. They expire at the end of May. Can he take it past that date? So here's where that FDA question comes in, right? Those expiration dates are tested up to a certain date. And then beyond that, they are not tested. Therefore, they are not approved to be taken. I'll tell you right now, though, personal experience, right? If I have a Mounjaro pen that's expired in my Fortnite lunchbox in the fridge, yeah, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Yep. OH. There you go. Very good. Very good. All right, I have to go because I have to get my kid and use the bathroom before I go get my kid. So same time, same bat channel, Fortnite Lunchbox. Yes, it's where they are.
Awesome, April.
The exhaustion is real. It is. It is. Just come on, hydrate with electrolytes first things first, and get out some sunshine. Sun, get a little sunshine. Get a little sunshine. Couple grapes in there, right? All right, I got to end on TikTok first. Definitely, Emma, come see us. We got you. We
That's
got
it. Bye, everybody.
And we're here every week. So for patients, come see us by tomorrow. Amanda will get you in on school, and then you come see us tomorrow night for our patient happy hour at 7 p.m. Okay. All right. We'll see you. Oh, we have a subscriber only live thing. Hold on. We're going to end YouTube. So yeah.
All right. It got up to 129 at one